Take me to the Mardi Gras, after a line by Paul Simon. Take me to the Mardi Gras, so I can hear you belt out. If ever I cease to love, may pigs' heads grow on apple trees, may the moon turn into green cheese. Take me to the Mardi Gras, so I can catch doubloons, coconuts, wands, cups, and swords, dress you in green, gold, and purple beads, like the kings of Comus, Zulu, Rex, Endymion. Yes, take me to the Mardi Gras. Screw your schedule. Fuck the job that eats your body and soul. Tie your wife to a black balloon and blow her out in New Orleans. Bury your guilt in a footlocker and dump it in the river. Yes, come with me to Mardi Gras, so we can parade half naked on St. Charles, and we'll get drunk with vodkas, climb toss pyramids, swim with Okeanos dolphins, and drink champagne from the Muse's slipper. Come to Mardi Gras, so you can carry a flambeau for me, tickle me with plumes, and wear a penis on your nose. Please don't scoff. We will never go to Mardi Gras. Please, oh please, take me there, so we can laugh at the Grim Reaper on his float and forget Ash Wednesday's dust to dust. I beg you, take me to the Mardi Gras, so we can sin and shine and celebrate. Take me to the Mardi Gras before it's too damn late. Okay, the next one is called Clouds. And the repeat line is by, in a song called Dandy, and it's after, the lyrics are by Alocio de Oliveira, and the music is by Antonio Carlos. Joking or joking? I'm not sure. Joking? Okay. Clouds. Where do clouds go? Those lily pads, cordless parachutes, cotton to anoint a scarred and dying land, seen from a plane. Where do clouds go? Do they disappear like people we once knew or thought we did, unlike whom clouds don't promise to be there when we next look out the window? Where do clouds go? Those small ones, white as funerals, we breathe out in winter. Where do they go after bearding the moon, bellying the ground, or shimmering a field where a foal nibbles his shadow? The mare's tail, colt's tail, cat's tail, cocktail, goat's hair, snail cloud, and abalone sky. The wind-frayed cirrus captured by English painters, those caught on steeples were pegged to a clothesline. Where do they go? Are covered, curtained, flecked, eclipsed and flying sun-shot days, like love that is or was or might have been, those pillows on our drifting beds of dreams. The next one is after a famous French song called Rien de Rien. It's composed, was of course made famous by singer Edith Piaf, and the music was composed by Charles Dumas and lyrics by Michel Vauquer. It's called Sparrow. No, rien de rien. No, je ne regrette rien. sings Sparrow Edith Piaf on the branches of her life. No, je ne regrette rien, I sing back to her when my love and I lie close as winter foxes curled up in a cave. No, I'm not sorry. The child I once was belts out at my father after I scream, I hate you, then close myself in the closet. No, I regret nothing. I shine after birth pangs, split my limbs, and I stroke my blood-stained firstborn. No, I do it again, I cry after 2 divorces. No, 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 I refuse to regret my sins held back in confession, the people I tore like paper, the fledgling ripped from my womb, the new child I gave life to unwed and learned to love more than myself. No, rien de rien. I sing to my dog who digs up my garden, to the ice-picked stars, the sting of salt rivers on Mars, the ring-swirling Saturn, the cosmic dust I'll return to, and the bubble of the full moon men could blow up. No, I regret nothing. I hope I'll swear on my deathbed to God and the devil, or the great big chasm of nothing that will silence my heartbeat and tongue that dares to affirm with that little black sparrow. No, je ne regrette rien.
Yes, all right.
I would just like to say thank you to my friend Katie Marshall-Flaherty sitting in the back row. I wrote that song at one of her Still Point workshops, and for any of you who are looking for a great workshop, Katie's the person to talk to. Okay?
Thanks.
Okay, it's spring, and I'd love to do a few spring poems. This is an old fave. If I were a sugar maple, if I were a sugar maple, you would measure my thickness of trunk to decide just how many wounds you could safely inflict. You'd learn to space those wounds so I wouldn't lose too much sap and could heal myself year after year, still offering sweetness. You'd learn to drive in the sharp spile just deep enough through rings of my youth so cuts would knit seamlessly. If you sometimes feel tempted to plunge the spile into my heartwood because our winter seems endless, my blood frozen, and I give you nothing, you'd have the sense to stay your hand, look down at my carpet of crumpled leaves for the first green pins of pushing moss. You'd listen for a woodpecker tapping my spring and wait patiently as the deer that lick my bark when the sweetness runs.
Yeah, right.
Okay, this is a new poem too. It's for my brother who lives up in the Laurentian Mountains, about 2 hours north of Montreal, in an isolated lake. The Blue Sleigh, after a painting by Sarah Robertson, Quebec, 1924. Forget your new Nissan, buried like a loaf of gray bread on your snow-crusted driveway. Imagine instead, Gary, a white horse with black blinkers like the milkman's horse in our childhood that licked sugar lumps from our palms. He is yoked to the blue sleigh, waiting outside your Laurentian log home, raised on a mountainside more than a century ago. The horse's flanks are steaming Icicles drip from his chin. His breath ghosts the air as he paws the drifts. Imagine also Gary, the two bent figures with rounded backs turned to the world, taking their seats in the sleigh are you and I, clothed in black and swaddled in fur blankets. Though you grasp the reins, it is the horse who will guide us past the blood-stained barns, farmhouses with lace-shrouded windows, across a melting bridge into a green meadow where we sleep like snuggled up children. It's really funny because, awful to say this, but after hating my brother for most of our life, I fell in love with him about 3 years ago. Can't get enough of him. Funny how life goes, eh, sometimes? Yeah. Okay. This is a perennial sort of one. April is daffodil month. Why was the daffodil chosen? A flower short-lived as a sunbeam in a northern spring. One that wilts at a glance, rips in a breath of wind. Why didn't they choose a survivor armed with thistles and thorns, a flowering cactus or a briar rose? Today, as I pass a Bay Street billboard with its mutant daffodils, blood red for leukemia, nipple pink for breast, blue for colorectal, orange for the lungs, I give them new names: mother, sister, cousin, best friend. At Union Station, 2 volunteers are selling single stalks and bouquets tied with string. I think, from the flicker of hope in his eyes and her telltale kerchief, the daffodil was chosen for its candle stem, and to one day herald a cure from its trumpet mouth. I fish out loonies and toonies, put on a giving smile, and head home with a bunch lighting up my hand. But why must such a golden flower be cut down to remind us of what grows dark and wild?
You're right.
Wow.
How should I put this? First of all, I just loved having the music combined with poetry. The music, I don't know, I just couldn't stop singing along when I was here. That was that little voice in the corner you heard. But anyway, that's how much I loved it. And Tom, I have to say, I would come for many miles to hear your violin playing. It's really, okay, and I'll dedicate this to you, although it's actually for somebody else, but it's for a violin maker. And her name is, it's called For Sarah Beaton, Luthier. Sarah made my son's violin, now hanging in her apple tree to dry. Her large hands, rough as bark, smell of wood and rosin. She trims horsehair for his bow, describes visits to the knacker where she fingers tails, tests the strands by stroking. Shade and texture color the music, so she chooses blonde for violin bows, gray for violas, black for the voice of the cellos. I am sad for all the palominos, dapples, and black beauties that no longer drink rippling sunlight, gallop through mists, or warm us with their breath. But I am comforted when her bows leap and prance. Sarah has no children. She cuts and curves wooden ribs and backs, wanting to create what's perfect. The secret is in the finish, she says. Wind and the fragrance of apple blossoms help the music to breathe.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the very last little poem. And I wrote it for my son. And this is, he was a teenager then, many moons ago. Nocturne. James turns off his bedroom light, pulls curtains closed. Listening like a blind man, he plays his violin. The sound of drifting makes a snowflake song. Now, here's my springtime, Mom. His phrase, so delicate, I hear a crocus opening and ask myself, is this what I must also learn inside the small room of myself? To improvise in the dark with a lightness of my own.